2007. Now, recent years, paddleboarding has seen a huge rise in popularity, with politicians too, because we saw the leader of the Lib Dems, Sir Ed Davey, on one as part of the election campaign. But now, competitions are taking place on paddleboards all over Europe.
Sport is yet to make it to the Olympics, but a British champion is hoping to change all that. Johnny Rutherford has been speaking to him.
When the weather is good in the southwest, people are taking to the water on their paddleboards. It's a sport that's been booming, particularly over the last 5 years, with many mass gatherings and sporting challenges.
Paddleboarding now is really like the water bicycle, very accessible. People are using it on every body of water. 100,000 boards were sold through COVID. The numbers out there and the amount of people who have actually used SUPs in this country are probably heading towards the millions. It's a very big sport.
Well, to really understand the sport, you need to get out on the water, and that's what I've done. I've come for a lesson here in Foy.
Put one foot next to that handle, get your feet into position, bring your body up, and then if you feel nervous, stand like so, 3 deep breaths, okay?
I know what you're thinking, but I'm determined not to fall in.
It's just so good for body and soul, I think, you know? It's a great way to explore different places, which we couldn't necessarily get to via the land. And it's really good for your mental and physical well-being. If you want to do a bit more in regards to touring and racing, you know, then there's another kind of range of boards as well you'd explore.
Actually, speaking of racing, I've been talking to the UK champion. Blue Ure is a 6-time stand-up paddleboard race champion, and he's one of the top 10 in the European circuit. When he's not travelling around the world competing, he works in the family water sports shop in Ivybridge.
So Johnny, this is some of the inflatable paddleboards that we sell in store. So these are what most people are using generally, and they start from about £200. We've also got some hardboards up here, which is generally what people's next step on would be. And then if they're going to progress further in the sport, a lot of people are going down the racing route. So these are the race boards here. You can see here they're longer and narrower than your normal subs.
No, come on, tell me really, how well have you been doing?
Well, in the last 6-7 months, I've just actually come back from a few big international races. So I've been in Austria last weekend and then Sicily the weekend before, racing on the European Tour. And then in November I was at World Championships in Thailand, which was pretty cool. And I've been, pretty much everywhere else in Europe in the last year or so. It's pretty good.
So I've got my work cut out, if I want to compete.
The oldest person I've taken out was, let me think.
Was it me?
No, actually, it was someone who was close to 80.
And children?
Children are amazing. They literally leap up on the boards. It'd be really good to get more juniors involved. I think that's a really good area for us to focus on going forward.
Is the sport ever going to make it to the Olympics?
It's something I'd love to happen. It's been close to doing it for 2028, but just missed out. Brisbane 32 is probably my last hope of making it as an Olympian. So I've just got to keep my fingers crossed and hope the sport keeps growing, and plenty of time. I'm only young still.
And speaking of being young, I'm starting to get my balance, physically and mentally.
But that well-being and that physical feeling, the two things combine. So I think that is one of the things that people really love. And the water constantly challenges you.
I can certainly see why paddleboarding has become so popular.
Oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it?
Johnny Rutherford, BBC News.